Should we get started? I think since he missed us so much, we should let Terrence run the meeting.
I have no idea what's even happening anymore.
The truth is, a lot of people have been very gone, so not as much as usual has been happening in these meetings.
So basically nothing happened while I was gone. That's what you're saying.
Yeah, I think we could survive without one of you, but it's been a nobody for a while.
Joe or I feel like Joe never comes to these because he has another meeting during this time. I'm happy to run it. Are we doing is the agenda still the same? Has that not changed?
It is still the same. I pasted it in to our notes for today.
Okay. New faces. I guess I can count myself. New face. Started the live stream. Should we go over spec issues as the first agenda item? Spec pull request rather. Share screen. Awesome. Should we start from the bottom here, from non-draft? Terminology section.
I think I need to update this with feedback from the last working group where it was discussed.
Okay.
I was trying to leave some feedback. I did have one suggestion for a new terminology that I was going to maybe put in here, but I think we call like the plan that a build pack generates the build plan, and then we also call the plan that the life cycle generates the build plan, which is sort of like taking components, a resolved build plan from all the build packs. I was wondering if we would like to call the life cycle generated one like a resolved build plan, maybe.
We call one the build plan and the other the build pack plan.
No, there's three. The build pack plan is the component of the resolved plan that get passed to the build pack at build time. But then there's the plan file that sort of describes, it takes all the plans from the individual build packs and then puts them all together, the sets that line up.
Is that just like the super plan?
If you are you suggesting that we call it the super plan?
No, I'm just like logistically, is that's what you're describing, right? Like it has all this stuff.
But it's not just the union of all the build plans.
Okay.
It's like because they're compared against each other for compatibility, and then a build plan that all the build packs can agree on is resolved from the different options they give. That's why I think resolved build plan makes sense.
Right.
I would be happy if we renamed the build pack plan or the build plan also. Like I always get confused which is what, but yeah.
Yeah. I mean, I'm happy to also not necessarily do that bike shed in this particular pull request, but
I feel like this is the moment, right? For bike shedding about the terminology. Like, when are we going to do it if not now?
okay, well, fine either way.
Anyways, we don't have to talk about it anymore now. Just letting you guys know that I'm preparing some bike shedding for this PR.
Okay. Remove shell specific logic from build pack API.
I think all the content of this looks good. There's a little bit of awkwardness around what's in the platform spec and what's in the build pack spec at the bottom here that we were discussing, but I think this mostly needs more reviews. There's a part where the build pack spec was saying, see platform spec for details. And then on the exact same topic, the platform spec was saying, see build pack spec for details. So the details need to be somewhere. Although they were kind of in both places.
Gotcha. So we want to clean that up as part of this, basically? Figure out
Yeah, I
where
think
it
so.
lives and put it somewhere.
And it seems like Mikey's on board with that, but he hasn't pushed updates yet.
Build pack API changes support phase 1 of Docker file implementation.
Use some feedback. I've gone ahead and started writing the implementation, assuming that this or something close to it is going to be the thing that we ship. But yeah, that's all.
Cool. And we're rolling this out as experimental.
Yeah.
Some semblance of it. And this is just the platform equivalent changes of the same thing, right? Cool.
Do you-
go
A
ahead.
refer to that, sorry.
Sorry, I missed what you were saying because I was being rude.
That
What'd you say?
as reviewer to that. Thank you, sir.
Did you want also on build pack or just platform API?
Just really platform. I trust everybody else on stuff I don't know anything about.
Awesome. Okay, cool. Moving on to release planning. What have you all done while I've been gone? Can we close build pack 08?
It's released.
Yeah. Any objection with me closing it? Now learn the GitHub UI after the last time. Anything we want to talk about for basically build pack 09 or platform 010 or distribution 03?
I know Jesse isn't here, but I think distribution of 3 may be blocked on stack removals. I don't know, Casey, if you have more context on that. And sorry, I just called you Casey. I meant Emily.
I don't have more context in terms of where Jesse is at with the stack removal stuff he was picking up. I assume he's gotten deeply distracted by whatever black hole Terrence fell into. So maybe we need someone else to pick that up.
Yeah, that'd be my recommendation. If there's something that's blocked on Jesse that we want to actually get done within the next month or so, or at least make some progress on, we should definitely offload it off of his plate.
Is there any dependency between stack removal and the Docker file stuff as well? I feel like some of the things like mix-ins don't really make sense with image extensions, right? And I don't know if I haven't refreshed myself with the details lately, but there could be parts of the files themselves that presuppose a stackless world.
So far, I don't think so. I think we can just get away with they're kind of separate, but if that turns out not to be the case, I will.
It's only like a one-way dependency though, right? Like stack removals does not depend on Docker file, but Docker file is to some degree moving away from basic stacks being a concept. Is that true?
It kind of depends on where we are doing the validation that the mixing contract is satisfied. As far as I know, from it, it's a bit weird. It's like you could get a new run image, and that new run image might not satisfy the mixing contract that the build packs have specified. But if the platform doesn't fail, then I don't know. Maybe we need to look at it more closely. But I was sort of figuring if you're using Docker files, you you're using an experimental feature, and like, I don't know, it's maybe you don't care if mixins are satisfied or not.
Mm-hmm. One of the things I was just looking at is I know in the new stackless world, we're having like a target section in build pack toml, so you can indicate compatibility between build packs and, base images. It looks like we're not doing that in extension toml, right? Is that?
We are not, but it could be.
And that's because we're not packaging and distributing them at the last minute, so maybe it's not as important to validate there. Yeah, that makes sense.
Is it worth? I know we have that thing on Tuesday at KubeCon EU. Is that right, Sam? Maybe we can find some time to maybe bang out some stuff for stack removal together. Did Natalie is also going to be there? Is that true?
I made an awkward mistake with my schedule, and I'm going to be arriving during that meeting.
I see. I mean, maybe we can find some time after that meeting on Tuesday. I don't think I have anything particular I need to do, but I don't know. Higher bandwidth conversation sounds like maybe a good path forward to try to at least make some progress. Besides, we should talk about this.
Yeah.
Oh, sorry.
No, I was going to say, just to tie it all, the reason stack removal is important is obviously it blocks the distribution of 3, since the stack removal changes were put into this spec release. Yeah. So we just want to make sure we're not missing anything, and then talk about the migration path. Is that what I recall being correct, Emily?
Yeah. Like, I don't think we want to release a distribution spec that defines a different idea of what a stack is without talking about how build packs need to change. I also think we haven't thought about what it means to move a concept like stacks from one API to another.
Sounds like a fun conversation.
I think the easier problem is, how do we remove stacks? I feel like we could diagram that out and maybe execute on it. I think a harder problem is like, how do we take something that was part of the platform API and put it in a different API and then deal with combinations of those APIs existing together?
Yeah, and I guess what maybe I'm having trouble understanding how we're going to end or come to a resolution is, I know you're planning to have conversations, but I think Jesse was owning a certain part of it and he is no longer. Like, do we have somebody else that's owning it now, aside from saying, hey, we're going to meet about this? Like, do we have a champion?
Volunteering?
I am not, unfortunately. But I guess it depends on how critical this is, right, to stack removals.
Do we need this for the first phase of Dockerfile stuff?
I don't think so. I think maybe at the point where Docker Files is ready to graduate from experimental to like fully in the spec, we'll probably want to figure this out, right? Because there'll be some weirdness. We want to make sure if you're using Docker Files that you're fully in compliance with, sorry, when we're ready to graduate from experimental and we have stack removal in our other spec, or so non-experimental spec, right? We want to make sure that they can play, like, you'll be fully compliant, right? If you're using Docker files, you'll be fully compliant with the rest of the spec. But that time has not come yet. And so, because I've been focusing on just getting something out with Docker files, I have not cared to pick it up yet. But if we get to that point and no one else has picked it up, I will pick it up.
I agree. I think if it's just switching the base image, it shouldn't require stack ID removal. And that, like, just switching the base image on based on build pack outputs, I think is good enough value proposition for the next release. Like, if I don't want to, like, there's no rush for this for the next release. So like, if you want to find a time where more people are there, we can
Wait for
schedule it
Jesse.
there.
I think given this complicated tangle of dependencies, the priorities that I think we're enacting in the real world are that we care about Docker files, then stack removal. And the distribution changes are more cosmetic and less causing problems in the real world. So I would feel comfortable just, icing the distribution changes until we sort out the first two. And then maybe we could deal with moving things between APIs separately after we've already put stack removal in its existing place.
Yeah, I'm fine with that. I just want to take advantage of being in the same place together, even if it's not everyone. Like, I feel like some of the difficulties Natalie has expressed that I've failed to do is just trying to get the ball rolling, because I think stack removal will not be a thing we will solve even at like a KubeCon EU, right? But I think it's a thing we have to make conscious effort to kind of continue to push, independent of even the Dockerfile stuff. Like, I think there are a lot of it's a very big backwards breaking change kind of thing. So
I think we can do it in a way that's not breaking, but selfishly on the Paketo project, we're planning to launch a bunch of new stacks. And it'd be really nice to just use the new APIs for the new things instead of having to migrate a bunch of things after we launch them.
Yeah, we should, to Javier's point, probably find a champion at some point to kind of see this through. I'm going to move on to RFCs in the last 5 minutes. Are these two? I know I had my name on this. Are you still planning on merging this one, Emily, when I pawned it off on you?
Yeah, I'm sorry, I forgot to do it. And like,
usually
I'm just slow to get around to things, but this one just totally fell off my radar. But now it's back on, and I'll do it.
Cool. Are there any of these we want to talk about? Go with the sound says no. Support Docker files, that's still moving along, it sounds like, with implementation and stuff. I definitely not checked this one. Do you know what, where we stand on this? Javier?
Trying to recall. No, I think I made a call for the original author to see where their mindset was at.
Okay.
And we have not gotten a response.
Do we want to close this at some TTL point of if we do not hear back, or is this something we want to take over?
From a project priority standpoint, I don't know that we've heard a lot of requests for this other than the original author. So I would be in favor of a TTL to close.
Okay. I think Joe is potentially interested in it. So maybe I will type him in here. But maybe let's revisit this in like 2 weeks or something. And if we have not seen an activity, I would be in favor of closing it. And then the scaffolding stuff.
I think Aiden's just working through his POC. I think he's pretty much done his POC. He presented in the last working group, and he's just
Nice.
um,
Pretty excited for this one.
I think it's just a matter of people reviewing it.
Cool. Do we want, are there things we want to put on for working group agenda tomorrow?
Is there anything KubeCon related that last minute stuff needs to be coordinated and maybe either promoted or marketed?
We have a bunch of meetings and gatherings and booth duties, but I don't know if like, we can talk about it in the working group for like 2 minutes, but I don't think it should take more than that.
Cool. And then maybe I'll just reach out to you, Sam, to see if there's anything we want to put on the website and or calendars for other people to be aware of what our presence will be at KubeCon.
Yep.
Yeah, we could probably also tweet some stuff out. Is Joe the only one who has access to that Twitter account?
I think he is the gatekeeper of that.
Do we want to cancel working group tomorrow if there is no agenda?
I always love to get an hour back. Can do so much with it.
I'm okay with it. I think we can just cancel it and post release updates on Slack if there are any.
Okay.
Any announcements.
Do one of you two lovely people want to, I guess, post that at least in Slack? It's canceled.
Yeah.
Cool. And I will then call this meeting unless there is something else I want to bring up. I think we're a minute over. Cool. Well, I guess I won't see you all tomorrow, but